The room did not make you lower the standard. It just found out how available the standard was. If every room gets a vote on who you become, you are not adaptable. You are for sale. This is Iron Suits, where strength wears a crown. I am Marwan Killu. And listen, I'm going to say he, or even said listen, like look or listen, depending on where you're looking at them, where you're watching or listening, whether you're watching or listening because it's on YouTube as well. I'm going to say he for a while. And not because it's about some other man, but because if I say you too early, you'll defend. You'll explain the weak. You'll tell yourself your dinners are different. Your friends are different. Your summer is different. So watch him first. Watch what he does in the room. Then be honest about where you recognize yourself. Before he leaves, he checks the time. 8 o'clock reservation, third social thing this week. He tells himself it's fine. Good people, good restaurant, good reason. And that's how the negotiation starts. Before he even gets in the car. And look, before someone does the thing, no, I'm not saying don't go out. I'm not saying become the weird guy at dinner with the chicken in a Tupperware box. That's not strength either. That's just fear pretending to be disciplined. I'm talking about the man who can't enter a room without letting the room renegotiate him. This is a man who can walk into a boardroom and hold the line while everyone else gets uncomfortable. He can hold margin in a business conversation. He handles risk, payroll, pressure. People look at him when the line has to be held. There's a gap. Boardroom spine. Dinner table surrender. He's not bad in rooms. That would be easier. He's good in them. Like, really good. He reads tone, reads mood, reads the table, knows when to push, when to soften, when to make people comfortable. That skill made him money. And now it's making him soft. Because the thing weakening him does not look like weakness. It looks like charm. It looks like manners. It looks like being easy to be around. It looks like not making a scene. It looks like being the man who can sit with anyone, anywhere, and make the room feel comfortable. He's not socially awkward. He is socially effective. That is why the danger hides. The most respectable excuses always arrive dressed as maturity. It's just one night. I've been good all week. I don't want to be that guy. It would be weird to say no now. I'll pull it back tomorrow. Each sentence sounds reasonable on its own. That's why he keeps them separate. One excuse at a time, one night at a time, one small agreement at a time. Put them together and they stop looking reasonable. They start looking like erosion. The room can have his attention, his humor, his warmth, his presence. It does not get his standard. But he doesn't see the line. The waiter comes over. Someone says, let's just get a few for the table. And he says yes before he even checks what they are. That was not hunger. That was permission. The starters were just the paperwork. The bread was just the signature. The second glass was just the receipt. The decision happened before the food arrived, before the starters, before the bread. It happened in the tiny pause where he felt the room lean one way and chose not to hold the line. Nobody may even say anything. He imagines a judgment, and that's enough. Now he's not making a nutrition decision. He is making an identity decision. He asks the questions he won't admit he's asking. What kind of man am I in this room? Am I the easy one? Am I the disciplined one? Am I the one who holds the line? Or am I the one who needs a group to approve of my standard before I keep it? He would say, it's not that deep. That's always the phrase men use when it is exactly that deep. There's the contradiction. He is strong everywhere else. He carries pressure that will break people sitting across from him. He handles hard emails, messy deals, payroll pressure, decisions most men would avoid. He does not flinch when the stakes are high. Then a menu opens. The waiter stands there, and he negotiates with himself like a teenager trying to get away with something. And the cost doesn't announce itself. He feels it later, in the Uber home, shirt pulling a little tighter, still calling the night fine. The shared starters land. A second glass arrives before he's even decided what happened to the first one, which sounds reasonable until you see the pattern. That's how subtle this is. He doesn't choose the lower standard. He just stops interrupting it. Dessert is suggested. Go on then. The late finish. The Uber home. The next morning, he knows. Not some big rock bottom moment. Just, he knows. Mouth dry. Sleep off. Belt tighter. Face a little heavier. Training already feels negotiable. And the worst part, nothing massive happened, which is exactly why he'll excuse it. And here's a part he misses. It wasn't one dinner. It was the first one where he said, it's fine. The second one where the line moved quicker. The third one where he didn't even feel the line move. That's how a man gets edited. Not in one obvious betrayal. In small agreements he refuses to count. He refuses to count them because counting them would mean looking at a pattern. and looking at the pattern would destroy the narrative that he is in control. One dinner can hide, two can still be explained, three becomes a trend, four becomes a standard. He says, the month got away from me. No, it didn't. The month did not steal anything. The month simply kept offering votes, and he kept abstaining from his own leadership. Identity is not what he announces when life is clean. It's what survives when keeping it makes a room slightly less comfortable. It is what he does when the waiter is standing there, pad in hand, when the table is looking, when someone says, another bottle? When the room would be smoother if he became less precise. If he just became like them. Most men inspect the mirror. They look at the softening jawline, the extra weight, the drop in performance. They judge the result. They don't inspect the moment that created it. The body is not where it happened. The body is where it reported. It happened in the yes. It happened in the pause. It happened when he let the room decide what kind of man would be acceptable tonight. This is not about the calories. It is not about the wine. It is about who gets to write the man. He calls it social fatigue. It isn't. He is not tired from people. He is tired from abandoning himself in small ways and pretending each one was nothing. See, this is where it gets uncomfortable. Every room got a vote. The barbecue voted. The restaurant voted. The holiday terrace voted. The group chat voted. The wine list voted. The late finish voted. And because he never cast the first vote himself, every room got one. And if this is starting to irritate you, good, because that means we're not talking about him anymore. We're talking about you. The dinner you called harmless, the week you called social, the glass you called nothing, the morning you pretended not to notice. The problem isn't the restaurant. It's not the wine list. It's not your friends. It's not summer. The problem is, somewhere along the line, your ability to read the room became stronger than your ability to carry yourself. And that one hurts. Because reading the room is part of what made you successful. You still trust that skill, everyone. It helped you sell, helped you lead, helped you negotiate, helped you make people feel seen. But sometimes what you call intelligence is just surrender with better timing. Sometimes what you call adaptability is just a standard looking for permission to disappear. Sometimes what you call balance is just a room winning politely. No, this does not mean you become rigid. That's the escape route for the defensive listener. That's the childish binary, not a standard or no life. Not no standard or no life, even. Monk mode or mess. Tupperware or the whole table. Command is not avoiding the room. Command is entering the room whole. Same man before the menu. Same man after the bill. Same man in the Uber. Same man the next morning. There is a word for that. Continuity. You haven't lost motivation. You haven't lost knowledge. You don't need another macro target. You don't need another training plan. You have lost continuity. You keep becoming a different man depending on the room. At work, you're decisive. At dinner, agreeable. At home, tired. In the mirror, disappointed. Same man, different levels of permission. That is why the room should never get the first vote. The first vote has to be cast before you leave the house, before the jacket goes on, before the Uber is booked, before the menu opens, before the room has a chance to make the lower standard feel normal. You have to know who's walking in. Because if you do not decide before the room will decide inside you. And it will not announce itself. It will not sound like surrender. It will sound like, yeah, go on then. That is the sound of a man being edited. Small, casual, socially acceptable, and expensive as fuck. A standard that only works when the calendar is clean is not command. It's conditions. If it only exists in your normal routine, it is not a standard. It is a mood. And this is the bit you will not call surrender. But it is. Give the room your presence, not your standard. Because if every table gets a vote on who you become, you are never reading the room. You are being held by it. This is Iron Suits. I am Marwan Killu. Subscribe to the show and follow me on my socials. I'll see you on the next episode.